All right, everyone, welcome to the newest episode of Heal Thyself. We have 2 episodes coming out this week for you. Today's episode, the Knowledge Bomb episode, I'm going to go into this very specific ingredient that you find in all of your household products, all the conventional ones out there, that is going to affect your health, your partner's health, your family's health, definitely your child's health. And it's something that we don't talk about enough. And I'm going to go into the details as to why it's a problem, but also give you the solutions as to what to look out for. And then this Thursday, coming out the Knowledge Bomb segment with one of my close friends. What a pleasure to have one of my best friends on this episode, Dr. Saman Farmarzi. She's a naturopathic doctor who is so well versed in the emotional body. And we go into what specific techniques can we implement in our everyday. She's gonna give you the hacks. Listen up, people. She's gonna give you the hacks into moving these repressed parts of you. So super important to listen to. We're going to go into that on Thursday, but today I can't wait to get this Knowledge Bomb segment. As always, thank you for your attention, your love, really just your focus, and you sharing this to their loved ones and people who you care about. The show is so much what it is because of you and the support from the beginning or the first show or the last show. It doesn't matter. I just really appreciate that so much. And I tell you this from my heart. I love you. Thank you so much. Let's get to this Knowledge Bomb. Here we go. All right, the insidious ingredient called fragrance. It's a problem. Now, I mean, I'm not playing. It's a problem with A's at the end, right? That's how you know it's a real problem. It's found in all the aforementioned products that I was just talking about, but you also see it in places you wouldn't expect. Like, you know those scented trash bags? I hate them. They make my eyes water. It's too much. But you know those trash bags that are scented? Scented trash bags. Dishwashing liquids. Some of the over-counter medication, first aid creams. You find them in hand sanitizers, scented markers and pens. I used to sniff those when I was a kid. Adhesives and glues, car air fresheners. I hate getting into an Uber that has a car air freshener just blasting. I can feel it in my body, just like how toxic it is, right? Upholstery cleaners, other scented packaging materials, right? That remove odor from food, for example. Now, the problem is that they all carry this fragrance chemical. And I want you to go into your personal care products, whether it's with this show right now, as you walk into your bathroom, open the pantry, or maybe do it later, and look at how many of your products actually have fragrance, that synthetic fragrance. And no one has really truly spoken about the wide range effects of fragrance on the body. And don't worry, I got you. We're going to dive into the problem. And as always, I'm going to give you better solutions so you can stay informed as an educated shopper. The term fragrance, when used in the context of consumer products, acts as an umbrella term. It encompasses a wide variety of compounds designed to impart a scent to mask odors, right? Nobody wants a nasty smelling product, so they scent it up. Or we want the scent because we want to walk out and smell really good, right? And you have natural fragrances like roses and flowers and fruits and roots, right? And what you're smelling is a combination of volatile chemicals, right? If I pick up a rose, and I give it that smell, you know, I bet you can smell it right now, right? Think about how a rose smells. You have that memory in your head. And that's a compound of scents that are being experienced as the smell of rose. And there's fragrances everywhere. Nature offers us fragrance. Now, they're not as strong as synthetic fragrances for the most part, unless it's a skunk fragrance, right? Some synthetic fragrances are really strong. And these are man-made compounds designed to mimic natural scents or create entirely new scents, maybe one you've never even smelled before. And synthetic fragrances can be more stable and consistent than natural fragrances, right? Because you've used natural fragrances and they're there for a little bit and they go away. But you can count on those synthetic fragrances to stay for a long time. And it's typically less expensive to produce, but there's a trade-off. It can have a downside, and the downside is that these harmful chemicals that make up this fragrance experience for you, like phthalates or these musks or aldehydes, they affect our health. And the toxicity of fragrance often stems from this complex chemical mixture. And it can include a wide variety of something called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. I've talked about VOCs so much before. And you have these compounds, like I mentioned, the phthalates, aldehydes, other potentially harmful constituents that off gas or create the scent that is giving you that pleasurable, oh, this smells good, but also wreaking havoc on your body. Now, the problem is there's a deep lack of transparency. The term quote unquote fragrance on an ingredient list doesn't really specifically cover all the chemicals that are used, right? You just read the word fragrance on a list of chemicals of, let's say, 20 ingredients in your shampoo. And fragrance is one of them. The problem is it doesn't cover everything that makes up fragrance, because fragrance is just the really umbrella term. It's the experience. You're getting the fragrance of a multitude of chemicals. It can go up to hundreds and hundreds of different chemicals. And this is a problem because it makes it difficult for you, the consumer, to identify what is the possible allergens in here. I know I'm allergic to this scent or this chemical, but it doesn't have to be disclosed on the product. And then we know that this one's toxic, but that doesn't have to be disclosed on the product. And as I mentioned, fragrance formulations, they can go up to dozens or even hundreds of individual chemical constituents that make up the word fragrance. So that 20 ingredient shampoo, it might actually be 120 ingredients, but just fragrance makes up one of those 20. But the truth of the matter is there's so many other chemicals in there that make up that experience of, wow, this smells like cherry blossom. So the interaction among these chemicals can actually lead to synergistic effects too. When we study in environmental medicine the effects of chemicals, oftentimes it's in a vacuum. It's one chemical, and we know that this one chemical at this certain level will cause these effects. We don't know anything about the synergistic effect of combinations of chemicals at all. And I want you to know that the FDA never considers this. So it's coming into our environment, right? And it's coming into our bodies. And in many ways, we're lab rats for 80,000 different types of chemicals since the 70s that have been released. That's a problem, right? And we don't know the combined effect of these chemicals or the sum of how it's affecting us. And the complexity makes it really difficult to predict what is the potential health impact of us being exposed to these. Maybe for one day, how about a week, how about a month, how about years, right? There are too many variables at play. But what we do know is that fragrance is a problem, which makes it no surprise that fragrance compounds are actually among the top 5 allergens in the world. And exposure to the chemicals in fragrance can actually cause things like allergic reactions, dermatitis of the skin, right? Respiratory issues, but also other health issues down the road. And you don't necessarily need to just be sensitive to it. It can happen to everyone. So some people actually might experience those hypersensitive reactions immediately on. I know I experience it. If I walk into a room with a Glade plug-in, I already immediately get asthma within an hour, 30 minutes actually, because I'm hypersensitive to it. But a lot of you might be too. And think about it. I know a lot of you are so educated that you've started moving stuff away from your pantry, started moving stuff away from your cosmetics and really cleaning up your home, right? What you're putting on your body, what you're putting in your hair and your skin and in your mouth. But you may notice that you're actually more hypersensitive because of it. And that makes sense, right? Your body isn't inundated with the burden of all those chemicals and your liver isn't overworking itself so much that now when you're exposed to a toxic chemical or even a toxic person, you're more sensitive to it, right? And it makes sense. So I mentioned some superficial reactions that can happen, right? Like a hypersensitivity immediately on. And the allergies and asthma is probably the biggest one, right? There was a study in the Journal of Environmental Health Perspectives which actually investigated volatile organic compounds that are emitted from common consumer products, right? A lot of them that you have in your pantry. And a lot of these products that were in the pantry were actually labeled green, organic, right? No label, but green, organic. And the study found that many of these products actually emitted hazardous chemicals, and they're known to trigger asthma and allergies. The research actually highlighted how pervasive many of these volatile organic compounds, these chemicals that you find in everyday fragrances are, and we need stricter labeling. We need stricter regulations. It's not going to happen because it's been a problem for so long, but this is why the onus is on us now. Another study in the Environmental Health Perspectives, they surveyed a large population that found that 34.7% of the respondents reported health problems such as respiratory difficulties, migraine headaches when exposed to fragrance products. And the study actually emphasized there's a significant percentage of the population that is potentially affected by all of these fragrances that we're breathing in. So how many of you out there have migraines and don't even know it? Someone you love has migraines and doesn't even know it. And is not tracing back the root that it could just be the inundation of these toxic scents that we're breathing in. That person who keeps getting migraines could be because of their shampoo, could be because of their laundry detergent, could be because of the cosmetics that they're wearing, the lipstick, the eyeliner. We don't think about these things, but this is why we're bringing it to the surface. It's super, super important. Yeah, we all know how miserable allergies can be when winter transitions into spring. A lot of you are suffering out there, right? That's the constant sniffling, sneezing, itchy eyes. It's like your body's waging war on the great outdoors, right? But Anima Mundi, my favorite herbal company out there, has put together the ultimate allergy relief bundle to help you build up your natural defenses. The bundle is stacked with some of the most potent anti-inflammatory herbs and adaptogens around. We're talking about reishi mushroom, known as the king of mushrooms. This powerful mushroom works wonders for regulating your immune system and your respiratory system, so you can adapt better to allergies. They got your back with black elderberry elixir. This is jam-packed with immune-boosting antiviral mushrooms. It's delicious, served up in tea, water, wherever you want. And don't forget, it's got the Breathe tea. Let me tell you something. I was just at Anima Mundi right here on Rose and Venice. I just drank the Breathe tea, and that stuff opened my lungs up immediately. It's a beautiful mix of some of the most healing herbs like astragalus and mullein. Shout out to Breathe tea. Actually, I really love that product of theirs. But what I love about Anima Mundi is their obsession to sourcing the highest quality organic ingredients, right? This is responsibly sourced ingredients from small and ethical farms. These ladies at Anima Mundi are the real deal when it comes to natural remedies, I promise you. Don't resign yourself to allergy misery this spring. I know a lot of you do. And you just go straight to the Claritin. This is not the name of the game anymore. We're getting on the Anima Mundi tip. Let Anima Mundi's Allergy Relief Bundle prepare your body's defenses the natural way. Just go to animamundiherbals.com to start breathing easy. You get 15% off of all Anima Mundi products if you use the code DRG at animamundiherbals.com. That is ANIMAMUNDI herbals.com. One of the more worrisome downstream effects of these disruptions is how it affects our hormones. The endocrine disruption piece of fragrances and the chemicals in fragrances is concerning. There was a study in the Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, which actually investigated the relationship between phthalate exposure, which is found in fragrance from personal care products, and actually how it affects our thyroid. And they found associations with the folks who had higher phthalate metabolite concentrations in their urine, meaning that they measured their urine and saw, okay, these people are being exposed to high amounts of phthalates in their fragrance products. And they saw that they had altered thyroid hormone levels. This actually suggested, yeah, these phthalates that are known hormone disruptors found in fragrances that you're breathing in and putting in your skin actually has a potential impact that can be pretty serious over time on your thyroid. So that means if you suffer with a thyroid issue, hypothyroid, right, hyperthyroid, thyroiditis, autoimmune, right, you have to start thinking about all of the fragrance products that you have in your home. There was another study, right, in the Environmental Health Perspectives Journal, which actually focused on this association between phthalate exposure and reproductive outcomes. You're trying to have a kid, or if you're going on your second kid, you got to listen to this. The study analyzed urine samples from pregnant women, and they found actually a correlation between high levels of phthalates and altered genital development in male infants. And this research is super crucial. Why? Because we already have a problem with fertility. It's the biggest problem in health right now, is that sperm counts going down, the potency of our sperms going down. Many women are becoming infertile. We may be, in the next 30 years, a population of infertile humans. That's a big problem. But this research was so crucial because it's showing you that everyday fragrance chemicals actually have a significant effect on our fertility. So again, if you're trying to have a baby, if you already had a baby and you're going on your second one, right? If you have plans, one of the first plans you need to have, and DM me and let me know if your doctor has telling you this, your fertility doctor, if they're saying, hey, by the way, do you have fragrance products? Because one of the first things your fertility doctor should be telling you, aside from removing alcohol and eating healthier, has to be, are you being exposed to fragrance products? What is your level of endocrine disruption? This is their responsibility because we know for a fact that it affects our fertility. Now, it's not only our hormones, it's our nerves too. It affects us neurologically. In a study published in International Archives of Occupational Environmental Health, The participants were exposed to a common fragrance compound, and the study measured the neurological responses, meaning that if anyone out there is being exposed to constant headaches or migraines, constant lightheadedness or dizziness, and you're drinking enough water, right? Or you're having enough electrolytes in your body, constant nausea, think about the fragrances, right? Systematic Review, one of the best well-studied reviews on fragrances in the International Journal of Toxicology, they evaluated the neurotoxic effects of fragrance compounds. And the review highlighted cases where exposure to high levels of certain fragrances, like musk ketones, like the musky smells, right? Those are ketone smells that we're breathing in. They actually led to headaches, dizziness, neurological discomfort. And the findings actually are gonna, again, it's repeating the same thing. Fragrances have a potent impact on our brain function. They affect our nerves. They affect the way our nervous system communicates with the rest of the body. So it's not just asthma and skin issues, but it's hormonal issues, it's fertility issues, it's nervous system, brain function issues, all because of this chemical that went through the Swiss cheese of the FDA regulation into us. And it's a shame. We're going to empower you on what to do, but it's just a shame. I want you to know where we are. This is not to scare you, but it's for you to be empowered to know where we are. And it's affecting our environment. We know multiple studies showing that there's environmental persistence, aquatic toxicity of these musks, these fragrance ingredients that are not easily biodegradable, and they're affecting our environment. And if you don't care about that, that's a problem, because you are the product of your environment. You are connected to your environment. The health of your immediate and collective environment is your health. So we have to have a bigger picture than just us. And we know this. They found several fragrance compounds in aquatic environments, high levels of toxicity in organisms. We know that it's not biodegradable, as I mentioned. So we have to think about how it's affecting us, and it's affecting our air. Just overall air pollution. We know that indoor air pollution can actually be more than outdoor air pollution. And why? It's because of these volatile organic compounds, not only found in shampoo, not only found in cologne and perfumes, but also in the cleaning products that you're using in your house, right? Or those trash bags that you're opening up that have scents. If you're thinking to yourself, I need this scented to smell good, that's a problem. Because actually naturals should have a light smell, maybe no smell. Right? Your laundry shouldn't come out smelling like synthetic lilac, or it shouldn't come out smelling like synthetic lavender. Those are fragrances that are absolutely going to affect you, and 1000% on some level affect your newborn, affect your toddler, affect your child. So let's begin to shift the way we think and bring more responsibility to ourselves, knowing that these emissions can really, really, really affect us, affect our environment. And I want to be clear about something. The bioaccumulation part is really important for us to understand. It's not like we're being exposed to this and just peeing it out. It's not like we're being exposed to this and just pooping it out. A lot of these chemicals can be fat soluble, and they stay in the body for a long time. We see this in multiple studies. We see it in animal tissues, and it's raising concern about what are the long-term exposure effects when we're not only being exposed to just a little bit each day, but it's also building up in our tissues. How is that affecting us? Because we know, we talked about hormone disruption. We talked about nervous system disruption. I didn't talk about immune disruption, but you better believe that these chemicals are affecting your immune system. If these chemicals are affecting your immune system, now we got to start talking about autoimmune disease and cancer, right? So just know that there's a big picture here. And guess what? All it takes is this education for you to make a difference. So here, I'm going to tell you how to protect yourself from these nasty chemicals found in fragrance to make your home a safer place. Living a long life is great, but what's even better than that is living those years in good health, right? Free of the chronic diseases, all those ailments. Unfortunately, for many, the gap between lifespan and health span is way too wide. The years spent battling illness instead of just enjoying your life to the fullest. That's why I'm always researching what are the best products out there to bring to you all, right? Everyone knows that I'm a stickler for whatever products I champion on the show for a reason. But when I bridge the gap in supplements and what comes on this show and who I champion, we're talking about high quality, rigorously tested products. I love Momentous Creatine and Collagen. This is two things that I take every single day, every morning. These are powerhouses, and they work together to support your body's own repair and performance. I've been working out. I work out 4 times a week. I'm on it. I feel good. And I'm utilizing creatine and collagen every single day because it's helped increase my recovery. When it comes to Momentous, they are clinically researched formulas, right? And it's delivering for the collagen 15 grams. And it's supporting all types of collagen in your body, not just that one type, all different types of collagen in your body. Momentous, when it comes to the creatine, oh, this is the great stuff. I actually believe everyone should be on creatine, whatever your diet is. Creatine is bomb. It is one of the best well-researched supplements out there. The Momentous creatine monohydrate, is the gold standard in creatine supplementation. The thing about this one, it has no fillers, no additive. It's just a pure, effective ingredients that you can trust. And trust is everything when it comes to supplements. Momentous has gone above and beyond to earn that trust. And the commitment to rigorous third-party testing and independent certifications ensures that what you see on the label is exactly what you get, no surprises. So if you're like me, you want to fuel your body with the best of the best, especially if you're working out, shout out to Momentous, go to livemomentous.com and use the code DRG for 15% off of creatine and collagen and all their top-notch products. That is livemomentous, livemomentous.com, and use the code DRG for your discount. Shout out Momentous. Number 1, read your labels and be careful about reading them. Look for fragrance-free. Okay, that's really important. Or unscented products. Unscented is better than scented, I promise you, especially if it's chemically scented. Fragrance-free means that no fragrances have been added to the product, including both synthetic and natural sources. However, when you think of something like unscented, right, that might mean that the product still contains fragrances to mask the smell of other ingredients. I bet you didn't even know that. So it's really important to verify the ingredient list. You need to be checking number 2 for certifications. Products certified by organizations like the Environmental Working Group, doing some of the best work in the country for protecting us. USDA Organic, even EcoCert, all 3 have much stricter standards regarding fragrance, use, and overall just transparency, so you know, right? Number 3, understanding labeling loopholes. Know that things like fragrance or perfume, right, on labels are a problem. They can be problematic because they are the umbrella term for all of these chemicals. And the terms are often used, we know, as a catch-all for all of these numerous synthetic chemicals, and they don't need to disclose it. So companies actually say, hey, this is a trade secret, so I'm not going to tell you what's in here, but really they're just protecting their butt because they know there's a lot of toxic chemicals in there. So we want to think about natural versus synthetic. Just because a product is marketed as natural does not mean it doesn't have synthetic fragrances. So you need to verify by checking the ingredient list. You want to look for things like essential oils or extracts instead of those vague terms like they might say raspberry scent. Oh, what the hell? Is it raspberry essential oil that's being used, right? Versus raspberry scent. Is it lavender scent or lavender essential oil? Here's where you start empowering yourself. Read the terms. And if the company just says fragrance, stay away from it. And you can even cross-reference it with the Environmental Working Group. Look at the conditioner that you want to use, and you can scan it or you can write in the name on the Environmental Working Group Skin Deep database, and you'll be able to see. Most likely it'll be on there and it'll give you a grade. And then it might give you other options that you can order online if you don't want to buy it at the store you're in. So it becomes a lot more simple, right? When we start just educating ourselves, and educating is so important. Like just thinking about the overall fragrance chemicals and knowing the names of some of the synthetic ones. Like if you see chemicals like phthalates or musk ketone, benzophenone, right? Benzo anything, just take a moment and go, okay, is this part of the fragrance picture? Is this the fragrance signature? And maybe I should stay away from it. I'm not telling, look, your body can take a heavily fragranced cologne. It could probably take it for many years. But it's not just that you're using. You're putting your shampoo, you're putting your conditioner, you're putting your cosmetics, you're putting your lotion. You're going into your room, your Glade plugin is in there. You're going to your kitchen, you're throwing away the garbage with the it's small drips throughout the day. You want to choose products that are transparent. You want transparent companies. You want companies that are able to voluntarily disclose all of the components of their fragrances, right? Look for brands that list all their ingredients and what comprises actually fragrance or their blend. Ask them, go on their website, hold them accountable, right? Because if it's something that you're just going to use for a night out, okay. But if it's something that's part of your life, part of your regimen, if you're using a deodorant and it has a scent and you're using deodorant every day, or the shampoo or this soap, really think about or hold this company accountable and make sure you start supporting companies that do right by you, right? Which brings to the next part of the conversation is do it yourself, right? We're at the point where you can Google anything online and you can Google how to do it yourself for household cleaning products, for soaps, right? For you can make a mixture for your laundry detergent, for even just any scents that you could put. You can make your own perfume or cologne, right? There's natural scents out there, essential oils, cleaning supplies. You can use things like vinegar, baking soda, Castile soap, just in certain combinations, right? For certain materials. But it just takes a little bit of research. But once you do that research, you're set for the rest of your life, right? And again, don't be afraid to contact companies. If you reach out and they're, that's a trade secret, we can't really tell you what, then goodbye. Don't even have them finish their sentence. It's done, right? Avoid air fresheners and scented candles, right? We want our home to smell so good, especially in the holidays that just passed. We want it to smell like pine nuts and caramel, but like, my God, like what is going on? This is a problem. Like one of the toughest things for me is my brother lives in Miami. When I visit Miami, it seems like Miami Ubers and Lyfts are obsessed with air fresheners. I go in there, it smells like a Macy's perfume and cologne section. It's terrible. My eyes start itching. I immediately lower the windows, even if it's raining, even if it's cold, right? Because I know how hypersensitive I can be. But think about to yourself. Do you have something in your car? Are you in a small condensed space smelling this? Do you put on these scented candles in the middle of your kitchen, right? With no airflow. Think about this. And at this point, if this was 10 years ago, I'd be like, I know guys, it's going to be really hard. It's not hard anymore. So many companies have capitalized on this clean and natural movement that you can get whatever you want. I just did a show on candles. Listen to that one. And I talk about how to buy candles, right? So you're in a good place at this point. Choose fragrance-free as always. Look for those products that don't have any scents. As we know, the deodorants, the lotions, the creams, but also if you're sensitive, you always want to prioritize fragrance-free. I know if you're traveling, it's hard. I experience this all the time. You probably do too. If you're going to a hotel or Airbnb, it smells like bleach or it smells like all these scented chemicals. I actually call in advance. If I have a place booked that I'm traveling to, I actually tell them in advance, whether it's Airbnb or a hotel, and say, I suffer with a chemical sensitivity. Please do not wash your sheets with any scents. Wash the sheets, but please use, and they have this, any unscented detergents. And the towels, make sure that you do not use any scented chemicals or fragrances. I make it very clear, and 9 times out of 10, there's no smell on the bed sheets. There's no smell on the towels. You can do this for yourself. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. And I mentioned the Environmental Working Group Skin Deep database, one of the best out there. There's also a lot of apps out there that you could just scan barcodes, better than what we have. But there you go. Look, this isn't just to scare you, but I want you to be educated on this. I want you to be so educated that you can tell your parents or your lover or your best friend or your coworker about, hey, there's something called fragrances and it's a problem. Here's where it's found. Here's what you got to do. There you go. And if there's more for them to know, send them to this episode. All right, that's the Knowledge Bomb. Fragrances, thank you so much for your attention, your love. If you have, and please, I'm asking, listen, there's a call to action. If you haven't rated, review, or subscribed this show, it will mean a lot to me for more visibility to get this to more people's eyes and ears so they can start helping. We can start a bigger movement, right? Rate, review, subscribe, send love, take 5 minutes. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic, beautiful, lovely, amazing, open-hearted week.